Well, hey guys, how are you, Unstoppablepreneurs? How are you? Nancy Fox, the Business Fox, and happy Tuesday. So, I want to tell you a little bit about why I started this little pop-up group and what it's all about for me, and why I invited you, and why I would love to see this group grow, at least during our very challenging time during Corona isolation and social distancing. I created this pop-up group specifically for women entrepreneurs who are grappling with, what do we do now? How do we deal with being socially isolated when, our whole business is about being with people and helping people, and and people are very scared, and we're dealing with something that came upon us very rapidly, and you've probably been getting gazillions of emails and all these invitations for how to deal with things during our quarantine time, and how to just so many different messages are coming at you. So the reason I created this pop-up group, and what I mean by a pop-up group, it's like I don't know how long it's going to be here, but I decided to create this as a very specific effort to create collaboration, creativity, ideas, and solutions for those of us who are working on our businesses during this very challenging time, and for us to sort of share ideas and solutions for how we can not just survive but thrive in the face of a very difficult time. So I also created the name Unstoppablepreneurs because my favorite word ever is the word unstoppable. It's one of the first books I read when I started my business. I really believe that what has allowed me to thrive and succeed for 21 years in my business, and way before that, just all through lots of different personal and health challenges, is being learning how to become unstoppable. I think the core of that is within each one of us, but we now have an opportunity to tap into it. And if we don't, what's the recourse? Just sort of flail our arms and cry and moan and say how unfair things are. It's not going to work, and it's not going to help us, and it's not going to help anyone else. So there are a few things that I want to say about being unstoppable. If you haven't read the book Unstoppable, it's one of my favorites. It was written by Cynthia Kersey, Kersey, and she she wrote this book, and it's about 45 remarkable stories about very ordinary people who really became very extraordinary because of adversity. And so when I first was starting my business, I just needed every single story and example that I could latch onto to show me that I could make this transition, that I could thrive, that I could succeed even when I had no proof, I had no evidence that I could do it. And I just knew that it was essential and I had to do it. I just didn't know how. And I needed examples of the people who went before me. So that was the beginning of my journey, right? And ever since I read that book, every time I get stuck, or every time there's a crisis or a challenge or a need, I just think I am unstoppable. And I just keep digging into what do I need to do to be unstoppable now. And that's what this is all about. So I think that I'm probably, if you're with me and if you're with me today, just give me a little thumbs up to let me know I'm not alone. But even if you're not with me, I'm just going to keep this recording up and give you a little explanation about why I'm starting this. So I want to give you a story tell you a story about something that I went through this happened to me in about 2007 or 2006 or 7. I took a course, like it was one of those big, massive courses in New York City about how to be successful and everything. And then they had there was always like the course that was the free course, and that went on for 2 or 3 days, and it was really amazing. I broke the board, and I did a lot of, like, I really got in touch with my unstoppable nature. But then they were selling this course from the back of the room, and it was called about how to be, it was called the Unstoppable Warrior course. And I went, okay, so that's my course because the words unstoppable is in there, right? But I thought it was about business. I didn't know, they didn't really, the way they described it was about learning how to be fearless in the face of challenges. And I said, okay, that sounds really cool because I love challenge and I'm going to get better at my business when I take this course. So the course was it was a 4-day course, actually 5 days. And it was located right in the Catskills in New York, so it was a nice drive up, and I decided to take it with a woman who was taking this free course with me. We decided to team up, we would room together, and off we went. So it took an hour and a half to get up there. We get there, and by the way, a couple of days before we left for the course, they said, this is what you need to bring. And they said you have to bring a raincoat, you have to bring bug spray, you have to bring an umbrella, you should bring boots, you should bring a flashlight, you should bring a screwdriver, and you should bring workout shoes and loose-fitting clothing. I mean, it was just weird stuff they told you to bring. Like bug spray? Like what? So I didn't get it. I didn't quite get it, but okay. I didn't ask too many questions because, I was always up for a cool course and I was ready. So we get up there. It's really, pretty up there, beautiful. We go to our first, they tell us where to show up for our first event. And we all file into this room, and it's a huge gym, just gigantic gym with the entire floor is like wrestling mats. And we just go in there, and there's no leader in there greeting us, nothing. We just go in there, and the next thing we know, we're just sitting there yakking away, and the next thing we know, there are 20 big guys wearing all black with masks and hoods on their heads and faces, and they attack us, like literally physically attack us. Now, there were people in there of all sizes and heights, and women and men and all ages, and I'm telling you, these guys started attacking us. Now, they didn't hurt us exactly, and they didn't attack us like hurting you, but they got you down on the ground, and you had to fight your way up. These were ninjas attacking us, and they came out of nowhere, and there's a room full of them, and there were 30 of us and 20 of them. There were a lot of guys on us, and they're all guys. I mean, they're big bruiser guys. And we had to fight our way off, and we totally unexpected. It was friggin' crazy. I mean, and I'm really lucky, I really think about it, that I was in good shape at the time. For those who were not in as good shape, I know they let up on them, but I mean, I fought back, and they kept fighting me, and I had to really wrestle my way out of it, and I got out of it, but it was really hard. And at the end of it, this went on for about 20 minutes. At the end of it, they all pulled their hoods and masks off, and they said, always expect the unexpected. And they told us what this weekend was about. It really was a warrior weekend. It was all about how to be unstoppable physically, mentally, emotionally, and intellectually. So there was an entire week of being trained in how to be a warrior in your life. And it was, a lot of inspirational stuff, learning stuff, really digging deep. You learned a lot about yourself. You learned a lot about where you had been explaining yourself away, where you had been excusing yourself, where you had been a weenie, where you had been a victim that you didn't, and you really got to take a good long look at yourself over the course of this week. And this was the week that I was attacked by ninjas. I walked on a high wire. It was 20, 30 feet above the ground. I was walking on a high wire. We were in a sweat lodge, an Indian sweat lodge, for 90 minutes. And I'm claustrophobic, quote unquote. I realized I could survive anything. And then I walked on hot coals, burning coals, in 2 o'clock in the morning. And we learned how to do all of this. And as you can see, Do you see the t-shirt I'm wearing? It says, don't think, don't think, don't think, don't think, don't think. I got this tank top when I was there, and it's my favorite tank top because I really learned that the more we think, the more we let our subconscious minds think for us, the less we succeed, the less powerful we are. And that was the moment I realized that I was in control of my mind, I was in control of my body, and I was in control of my attitude and now here we are. Today I went to the market, and to me it felt like being like, this is what it must have felt like when our country was in, at war in the Second World War, because these shelves are empty, people are online, people are, hoarding. I mean, people are scared, people are losing their jobs, people are scared. So I'm here to talk to you about, I want to invite you to participate with me in a discussion in meetups, about what we can do to be unstoppable in the development of our business and in our lives right now. How can we show up and be unstoppable for ourselves, for our families, and for our clients and our potential clients? How can we collaborate and come up with creative ideas for using this incredibly difficult time to be the warriors, be the unstoppable warriors? And I know we can do it. So one of the things that I've been thinking about is, I have a computer full of trainings that I've done in the past, and I'm going to dig in there and see what's still relevant. And, I'm going to just put them out there and share with people, all of my material from the past, and, create some opportunities for people. And that's basically what I want us all to be doing together, to be creating opportunities out of adversity. How do we use this time to create new opportunities? How do we be creative and see what new things can emerge out of this? Because honestly, in the last recession, I've been through 3 downturns now. I've been through 9/11, when everything stopped and the economy, and it was right after the dot-com bust. I've been through the recession of 2008 and 9, when the entire market crashed and financial markets were in complete disarray. And now this one. And in each time there were new opportunities and new business directions, and there were so many people who, when they really sat back and decided not to be a victim of circumstances, actually flourished during times of adversity. They came up with new ideas for what people were going to need and want and buy, and serve people in new ways and tap into their power in new ways. And that's what I think we can do together. So I've made up my mind that I'm going to be looking for solutions that are already in my toolkit. I invite you to do the same. What solutions are already in your toolkit that you can bring forward? What will make a difference for people right now? How can you inspire and motivate and assist people right now when they need it the most? How do you turn adversity into opportunity? It's like how to turn, straw into gold. That's basically what we need to do right now. And we have an opportunity. How do we be the best possible mentors and guides for our new students and grow our businesses at the same time? This isn't a time, Warren Buffett said it best. He said that when people are fearful, be greedy, and when people are greedy, be fearful. And this isn't a time for us to, when other people are fearful, it's time for us to shine. So let's do this. So I can tell you that one of my, I think I'm going to give you a couple things that I'm doing every single day that I know is going to make a difference for you too, and I would suggest you pass it on to every single one of your colleagues and students. Number one, I am using my morning routine religiously. Right now is not the time to lean out. It's time to lean in. It's time to lean into the most productive rituals that you've got. Meditate every single morning. Journal every single morning. And I actually last week I created a new journal for life design, and I'm going to share it with all you guys. I'm just going to put it out there, and it's a download, and you can use it, and I think you will find it incredibly helpful. It gives you a chance to journal freely, but it also gives you some structure to use as well. So I'm meditating every single morning. And the meditation, sometimes they're on a particular theme, sometimes they're just, open-ended. I'm journaling every morning. I'm making my bed every morning. I am working out. I think it's very important for you to be moving every single day, even if it's just walking. Nothing says you can't walk outside. Nothing says you can't walk indoors. Nothing says you can't do a YouTube workout video for 15 or 20 minutes. Stretch every day. Do something physical to keep get your endorphins going and keep your body in good shape. For the women in our community, listen, if you're someone who is used to going to an office or dressing, or if you're used to going to clients, or to appear at clients, and you get dressed every day, don't stop that process. Do your hair, put your makeup on, like as if everything were normal. Make yourself as normal as possible. This is not a time to slack and make yourself feel and look worse. It's time for you to step up. And that's what I'm going to do. I am going to make believe and fantasize that I am with other people. And that's another thing. I'm going to set up at least one virtual coffee date with people every single day, socially or business, or reach out to an old client, reach out to an old colleague, set up a Zoom meeting, get together virtually, do virtual meetings so you don't feel isolated. This is not a time to isolate. Do a little bit every day. This is why I call it daily consistent activity. And the last thing I decided that I'm going to do is I'm going to teach something every single day until this crisis is over and we are permitted to go out, do our normal, socialization. I'm going to teach a little bit every single day. I don't know what I'm going to teach on yet. I've got some ideas about it. If you've got some suggestions for me, one thought that I've got is people have been asking me, they'd like to get some lessons on how to actually coach people, whether it be business or life coaching. I'm going to do some lessons in that. And that's one thought that came to me. But if you've got some other topics that you want me to talk about and to teach on, I'm happy to. I've got a whole bunch of ideas, but I'd love to hear your ideas. And I'd like to know what you would like to learn and what solutions you feel you need during this time when we are grappling. Also, I think it's incredibly important if you need some guidance on mindset work. This is the time to do it. We've got the time now to do our practices. It's time for us to call ourselves into a higher vibrational level, not lower it. So you need to eat really well. What I mean by that is, you really want to be limiting alcohol intake. You want to be optimizing your, fruits and vegetables. I know it's difficult to get some groceries, but do your very, very best to eat as much unprocessed food as possible, and definitely stay away from the sugar, all of the junk food. It's going to make you feel worse, and you won't be happy at the end of this when you pack on the pounds. You can work out at home. You don't need the gym. You need to, if you don't have weights, get 2 bottles of water and lift a little. Do some push-ups, do some back push-ups. So we can do so many. You can use your own weight to resist, and you can do stretching and walking, and YouTube videos are free. So definitely make use of these things while we're in our social distancing time. So those are my thoughts, you guys. I believe in being unstoppable. I believe you are unstoppable. We're all unstoppable, and I believe we can be unstoppable better together, creating obstacles out of opportunity. I hope this has been helpful for you. I'd love your feedback. I know I've been alone today, but I'm going to post this video, and I hope you'll give me some feedback about it, and I'm going to share it around my other groups. So check it out and invite other women entrepreneurs into our community. We all need to be supportive of each other right now. Nothing is more important than being supportive and being helpful to each other at this time. I love you guys. Go forth and be unstoppable.